did the 13 wishes thing, and I did it so that my last one would be on my birthday. Okay, before I go to work, let's see. This is the thing that I have to take care of myself. Oh, I knew this was gonna be the last one. It's me and Woo Connor's story. They said it should be stuff that's realistic, and I dream big, okay? Treat, and then they made the store sing happy birthday to me. Yes.
Okay. Woo! Woo! Yeah.
Okay,
Happy. Because I figured we'd harmonize.
I don't know how to do that.
What'd you wish for?
Well, we can't. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Kelsey, if you haven't been here before. This week, I'm doing my birthday vlog. Super chill, not really doing much. I worked on my actual birthday. It was a Monday, and then I have the next 2 days off of work. So I was like, might as well just work the day. And then they got me a little tree and a balloon and the whole store saying happy birthday to me, and it was really cute. So that was fun. Right now, listen, every book that I have picked up, I have not really been vibing with. So right now I'm rereading People We Meet on Vacation. The movie comes out on Friday, and Friday is my birthday party. And then I'm gonna have a little sleepover. We're gonna all watch the movie in the morning. I've only read it once, and I read it forever ago. So I thought it would be fun to reread it before we watch the movie. I have a lot of party prep to do, lots of cupcakes and cookies to make. So we'll see how far. I'm hoping that I can finish the book, but who knows? The fact that it's so cold outside, I thought maybe the vacation aspect of it would be kind of fun, but it's honestly just really bringing me down that it is so cold, and it's only gonna get colder from here. I am now 27 years old. I did the 13 wishes thing. You write 13 wishes down on a piece of paper and you burn them every day. And then the ones that you burn are supposed to be the things that the universe is going to take care of. And then the 13th one that you pull on the last day is supposed to be the one that you're in charge of. As you saw, the last one I pulled was to meet and Woo Connor's story. The universe was like, we can't really do that. You're gonna have to step up, which that's fine. That's fine. I just think that we would get along really well. And if I could meet him, we just really hit it off. So that's fine. I'll take that into my own hands. But the rest of those wishes, please, universe, that'd be really awesome. This year ahead, I've got a lot of things I want to do. I want to actively post more on YouTube. I like doing it. I like making the videos. I like editing them. I went to school for theater. I moved to New York in the hopes of doing something with that. And I haven't really, just because it's very expensive. One, to live here, but then to also pursue creative endeavors and waiting for them to have some kind of fiscal reward. It takes a lot. So honestly, most of my time living in New York has just been surviving, and I finally feel like I'm out of that survival mode, and I'm gonna put a lot more effort into doing that kind of stuff. I think that that would be really fun. So I'm gonna actually freaking do that this year. Yeah, a lot to look forward to. Yeah, I'm excited. Hope that I finish People We Meet on Vacation before Saturday, but if not, I have read it before, and I'm very excited for the movie and for the sleepover. It's gonna be so fun. Let's start baking.
I'm just trying to get it perfect, all right?
But it's good. It is good practice because I've been working on it.
Hello everyone. Don't mind Salem here. He's just watching, keeping an eye out. You probably can't tell, but there's about a month of time in between my birthday and birthday party and all the other little snippets that I will add to this video. I did not have the best time at the start of this year. Honestly, the last year, I have been having a lot of health issues that have just kind of gone unanswered. It's been a total of 10 months. It started last April. I got a random yeast infection and then it was not going away, and I was like, nothing is working, nothing's making it go away. And I had started to lose weight, and I thought that maybe it was just like, oh, I started working out a little bit more. It was nothing of note at the time, and it was only just a little bit. And then when I went to the gynecologist, she was like, you need to watch your sugar intake. It's really causing harm to your body. I was like, okay, that makes sense. Sure. So I cut out sugar, and then I start dropping even more weight, and but the problem is still not going away. I also had to get a biopsy because I had abnormal cells on my cervix. And she was like, yeah, continue to cut the sugar. Probably you should start cutting carbs as well. And I was like, oh, you're just telling me to cut sugar and carbs because I'm over 200 pounds. And I was like, I am dropping so much weight. And I also am still having this problem. And her first thing is like, well, let's check if you have cancer. I was like, okay, that's cool. She's like, you're all good. And I'm like, I'm really not though. I'm still losing weight and I'm still having this problem. Nothing is making it go away. And at first I thought that cutting sugar, I was like, people always tell you how like bad sugar is for you. And so I thought maybe that was making me drop weight. Cut to October. At this point, it's been 6 months. And I'm like, I consistently work out at home. I go take walks, I do yoga, I do Pilates. I have always eaten really well. Now I'm getting so thirsty. I can't leave my house without making sure that I have a beverage to drink with me. I always have one in my purse. I'm also still dropping weight. Haven't changed anything since the summer. And the doctor's like, no, nothing seems to be wrong. And then by the end of the year, now I'm noticing I'm always so hungry. I'm still dropping weight. Now, every time I eat dinner, an hour, 2 hours later, I need to eat again. And I'm still dropping weight. And then now I'm so tired all the time. I would be walking home from the train and I'd be like, I feel so tired. I don't know if I'm gonna make it home. The subway station by my house, not that far. The stairs in the subway station, it's one regular flight of stairs. I'm like clutching the railing. I am falling asleep every single time I sit on the couch, every single time I sit down on the train. I am so hungry. I'm so thirsty. Yeast infection's still around. 10 months later, I have tried every single thing I can think of. I am now so tired, I'm not working out anymore either. I'm eating all the time. I'm never satiated and I'm still dropping weight. In 10 months, I lost 70 pounds. And this doctor that I was going to was like, congrats, now you're less than 200 pounds. And I was like, you're fired. Not going to you again. So then I'm like, maybe I have a food sensitivity that I'm unaware of. So I made an appointment for the gastroenterologist, GI, whatever. I don't know if I said that right. A few days before the appointment, I'm in my house and I'm like, I think I might have diabetes. Literally every symptom that you could have before being diagnosed, I had it. So I go to the gastro, which, by the way, this buff, bald man is the first doctor to be like, I am concerned about how much weight you've lost. Why is he the first person to be concerned? I need a break. So this little buff, bald Russian man is like, I am gonna order every lab test, which, by the way, I said, hey, can you check and see if I have diabetes? Still no results from that. That was a month ago. That appointment was 3 weeks ago. But he's like, I'll order those lab results. And then I want to do an endoscopy and a colonoscopy to make sure everything is fine and see every possible route, because I don't think your body has been absorbing anything for months. And I'm like, cool, that's great. Love that. I have heard about those procedures and they are not cheap, so can't wait to do that. I end up not needing those procedures because I get admitted to the hospital. For my work's health insurance, we have to get lab work done in order to get our HRA funds for the year. So it's literally just free money for getting blood work done. So I go in the morning on one of my days off and they call me 12:30 a.m. They're like, hey, sorry to wake you up. Like, if it's anything out of the ordinary, we like to call immediately. That just happens to be in the middle of the night usually. That's when we run them. But do you have diabetes? And I was like, not that I'm aware of, but I was trying to figure that out. And she's like, okay, yeah. So when you came in today, your blood sugar was 690. And for reference, a healthy blood sugar that they gave me in my little packet from the hospital is between 80 and 130. And she was like, yeah, so I think that in the morning you need to go to urgent care. And I was like, great. So of course, I don't sleep very well the rest of the night. Also, might I add, part of the unquenchable thirst, I have this giant Yankees cup, like what you get, they give you the soda in. I would fill that up with water and drink an entire one before going to bed, and then I would wake up in 2 hours and have to pee, and then I'd be like, wow, I'm so thirsty again, and I'd drink an entire one again and then pee in another 2 hours. And that was happening for multiple months. There was even one, I remember there being a day at work where I was like, I am so thirsty, I'm afraid something's wrong with me. And everyone was like, no, it's winter, it's just dry. It's just dry outside. You're fine. I'm like, okay, sure. Anyway, I am not good at a linear storyline. So I'm like, that's a really high blood sugar. And so in the morning, I'm like, hey, sister, we have to go to urgent care because they called me last night and my blood sugar is 690. So I think that and then we call our mom and I'm like, hey mom, I think I have diabetes. And to add, she is a type 1 diabetic, which is also why I was like, I think that this might be it. I've seen her have it her whole life. My cousin also has it. It's just, it never crossed my mind because I'm 27 to be newly diagnosed with type 1 diabetes. So I go to urgent care. They take my blood sugar. They're like, yeah, you need to go to the hospital. It's not 690 anymore, but it is, I think at that point it was like 430. I was like, right. So go to urgent care. I tell the doctor there like what's been going on. They gave me a little paper and I was like, hello, they told me I need to come to you and be admitted. Fast forward 7 hours later, still in that ER. The doctor that sees me, he's talking to me. I'm telling him everything that's been happening. I was like, I think I might have diabetes. I would like to get tested for it. And he was like, girl, you have it. It's just which one? I was like, right. Thank you. They end up sending me to a different ER because the one I was at was not conducive for overnight stays. I went to urgent care Thursday morning, and then Thursday night they send me to the other emergency room where I am staying, and then I do not leave until 6 p.m. Saturday night. And it was so terrible when you get diagnosed with type 1 diabetes. My cousin got diagnosed at 10. My mom got diagnosed at 15. One of the doctors I saw in the hospital was like, my niece just got diagnosed. She's 12. It's so scary. Like, it can be so scary. Every doctor and nurse that I saw at first was like, oh, how long have you had diabetes? And I'm like, I don't know, 24 hours? Like, nobody's even told me what kind I have yet. They all thought I was in there for like an episode. One of the nurses who like came to talk to me, he was like, I got diagnosed at 16. It was just so crazy. Everybody was like, you're old though. They're like, you're being newly diagnosed with type 1 at 27. I'm like, ah, right. So then I finally see an endocrinologist, which is a diabetic doctor. It takes a long time to get the blood work back that specifically looks at the antibodies in your blood to say whether you are type 1 or type 2. She was like, we haven't gotten that information back from the blood work. However, you came in with a blood sugar at 690. You did have ketones in your urine, meaning my body had been eating itself 4 months. And I was like, that's so cool. That is so cool. And I had a doctor congratulate me. She was like, you were not in DKA, which is diabetic ketoacidosis, meaning when you are in DKA, you are in a diabetic coma. She was like, you were not in it, but you were close. And the fact that it's been months of you feeling terrible, and then you just walked into the ER like, hey, can you admit me? All that to say, my life is going to be different forever now. That's really hard. I do think if my mom and my cousin, if I hadn't grown up with them being like knowing like the firsthand experience of seeing people with type 1 diabetes, if I did not have that, I think I would probably be inconsolable. It's just so much, just checking your blood sugar, taking insulin every single time that I eat. I am such a snack person. And again, I have always eaten so well. I have always worked out regularly. I've just always been heavier. So then when I was losing weight, I was like, something is wrong. But nobody was taking me seriously because they're like, but you're losing weight. Like, you should be happy about that. And I'm like, something is not right. They would ask me about my workout routine and my eating habits. And they're like, oh, that's good. That's probably why you're losing weight. And I'm like, no, but that's how I've been my whole life. I'm telling you something is wrong. Like even going to a GI and being like, hey, I would like this to be looked at. I still haven't even heard from that. It was just lab work that I was getting done to get money for health insurance through my job that I was able to figure out what was wrong with me. And it is a lot. It is quite a lot, but it does answer every single medical problem I've been having for the last 10 months. I do think out of everything it could have been, this is the best case scenario, but now I just have to like watch that all the time. That being said, will now be part of my content about being diabetic. So I hope you guys like that. My mom bought me this cookbook. So I'm gonna start flipping through her, just stuff that's low carb and low sugar. There are just so many things that can spike your blood sugar. And also just making sure you're getting enough nutrients. Like I'm realizing now I cannot really eat bananas. The couple of times I've tried to have them, no matter how much insulin I give myself, they spike my blood sugar like crazy. So I have to stay away from bananas. That sucks. I do think that this will be really helpful, especially because I'm a baker. I love baking. And I'm sure there are recipes that I can use. I just have to look at the serving amount and seeing what the nutritional value is so I know how much insulin to take. But I can't just like bake whatever I want now. I have to be really conscious of what I'm making, especially because my blood sugar was so high for so long. Now my body, it's a bit insulin resistant right now. This thing called A1C, where it's basically what your average blood sugar has been and how insulin resistant you'll be. And they want you to be at 7 or lower. And it's of course high when you first get diagnosed. So right now I'm at a 13. And that'll take months for that to come down. It's not a slow process because it's also, I've been having this for 10 months. Nobody even thought to think of that and test me for that in all of these things, even though my mom is diabetic, my cousin is diabetic, I had every one of the symptoms. Nobody thought to test it because of how old I am. And that's crazy to me. I'm doing the thing. I'm taking my insulin at work. I've gone out to eat twice since getting diagnosed, since being in the hospital. And both times, it went pretty fine. So, it's getting easier every day, but it is a really big adjustment, and there will be times when my blood sugar will drop really low and it'll be scary, and I am anxious about that, but it'll be fine. I live with my sister and she knows what to do. That's also something that I would love to know. My sister is the best person in the world. Me in the hospital, literally as much as she could, doing everything she can to make sure that she knows what to do for me, texting our mom and being like, hey, this is happening, like, should we be worried? Is that normal? So also not to scare me, but to know what to do. I am just really lucky to have her. And everybody should know that. Okay. Ooh. I knew I wasn't going to be able to say that without crying. But yeah, I love my sister very much. She's the best person to ever be born. So, that being said, everything's fine. Everything will be fine. But for a while, it was really hard. And I felt like it wasn't going to get better. And then I was trapped in the hospital 4 days. I'm already feeling a million times better. And I finally finished my first book of the year because I wasn't immediately falling asleep every time I sat down to read. This was my first book of the year. And it was amazing. 5 stars. So things are looking up. That's all. I hope this cuts down a little. Just wanted everybody to know that it's really hard to get answers for what's wrong with you if you weigh a certain amount. And I've been feeling so terrible for months. And I'm just happy that I'm finally starting to feel better. And hopefully that only gets better from here. Well, thank you for watching. Okay, bye.